Hi, and welcome back to my EcoBuzz. I'm Jessica Gregory, and this is the final episode of my series on herbivory.
The human population on Earth has increased exponentially in the last 200 years, going from about 1 billion in 1800 to over 7.7 billion people living on our planet today. Experts estimate that another 2 billion people will be added to this total by 2050. Obviously, as a result, the most significant challenge facing modern agriculture is how to produce enough food for all these people.
But not only do we need to feed Earth's human population, we also need to do it in a way that is environmentally sustainable. This is because Earth has limited resources, so finding eco-friendly ways to produce food while also managing our resource use is the only way to go. Unfortunately, the presence of herbivores only exacerbates these challenges.
Here's the deal. When a farmer plants a field with a crop, say corn, they're creating a monoculture. In other words, that's a huge amount of land covered in thousands or millions of the same type of plant.
The problem is that planting monocultures is a surefire way to attract herbivores who will eat the crops long before they ever make it to your dinner table. It's like preparing a banquet feast for a crowd of small children and then telling them not to touch it. Yeah, good luck with that. To combat this herbivore problem, pesticides and synthetic fertilizers have often been used, which have resulted in higher crop yields, but can lead to unintended consequences to the natural environment in the process. In addition to that, we've genetically engineered or trained many of our food crops to have fewer defenses, so they're more palatable for us to eat.
It's like this. If plants can spend fewer resources on defending themselves against herbivores, they'll have more energy and resources to devote toward growing big, beautiful, and delicious fruit, which of course is more desirable to hungry shoppers.
On the flip side, in some cases, more pesticides may be required to ward off hungry wildlife from genetically modified crops. Does this mean that genetically modified crops are all bad? No! Recent studies have examined ways to modify or utilize the volatile organic chemicals that plants naturally produce to attract herbivore predators. Remember the VOCs from the last episode? The good news is that pesticide use in the United States has declined by over 40% in the last 30 years. So mammals, birds, and humans have all benefited. But what are some alternatives to synthetic pesticide use? Number one, increasing crop diversity reduces herbivory by making crops less visible to herbivores.
This can be done by physically planting a mixture of crops within the same land area or by mixing genetic varieties. Even planting a different border crop that surrounds a field or garden helps to attract herbivore predators. Note that this may not be as effective in really large fields, though.
Number two, look for ways to minimize synthetic pesticide use as much as possible, such as through organic farming methods. For example, you can build up healthier soil microbes by using cover crops and no-till practices, which then supports healthier plants and attracts herbivore predators.
Whenever possible, minimize or avoid use of pesticides near waterways to prevent their unintended spread through the ecosystem. There are numerous options available for spot treatment, even using drone technology. There are also biopesticides on the market that contain naturally occurring chemicals or living organisms like fungi to combat herbivores. However, these can get very costly.
And number three, contact your local conservation district or agriculture office for help with adopting an integrated pest management plan, or to learn more about agricultural assistance programs and grant opportunities. Remember, the ultimate goal here is to produce the highest crop yield using the most sustainable practices so that not only the 7.7 billion humans, but also the rest of Earth's inhabitants will benefit for generations to come. If you've enjoyed naturing with me, would you consider sponsoring a future My EcoBuzz episode? With your help, I can continue to make this content available to viewers for free. And don't forget to click subscribe on my website to get access to my free monthly newsletter. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, happy naturing.